When people come in to have a vasectomy, we ask them where they heard us from, and quite a lot of them will say, "Oh, I saw your car, Doc, driving round."
Dr. Snip, aka Dr. Nicholas Demiduke, is taking his business to the streets.
I get all sorts of reactions. Some people pull over and wind down the window and share their experience of their vasectomy with me. Some people just give me the thumbs up.
Dr. Snip reckons it's the most effective form of advertising for a procedure that's still cloaked in mystery.
Men need a bit of help and a bit of prompting. We did try advertising on sports radio initially, but if you get the message out a bit wider and women are involved, that tends to spur men into action.
It took journalist Stephen Corby 3 years to build up enough courage to go the snip.
I just have this strange, completely explicable fear of sharp things near my scrotum. I just don't like. I don't like the idea, and I think a lot of men. I was talking to my surgeon about this. A lot of men do this involuntary kind of ooh when you even talk about it. If you talk to a guy about a vasectomy, there's that kind of face they make in an involuntary, like they've been punched in the stomach or kicked in the balls. It's there's kind of a fear of the pain, a fear of so much, the recovery, all these things played on my mind for literally for years.
With 2 kids and a partner who was no longer on the pill, Stephen eventually took control of his fear and had a vasectomy.
I've run with the bulls for a story. I've jumped out of a plane for a story. Surely a vasectomy can't be that hard. So it was the curiosity factor then gets me across the line.
Stephen reckons most men are terrified of the V word, so he's now, by default, become the guy who tells it the way it is.
And I asked lots of men about this. I said, how bad is it? And like, I have a big bikey friend who said he didn't feel anything, didn't notice it, went out for a run the next day. He doesn't feel pain. He can rip his arm off and not notice it. I had other friends who would say, oh, it's fine. It's just one day with frozen peas and that sort of thing. But the story seems to vary a lot. And so the recovery is what worried me.
After watching his wife struggle through 2 difficult births, Mikey Carl had no hesitation in getting the snip.
It struck me as the best way to just put an end to any kind of risk of having another child. I just thought, let's just end this now. Forget about condoms, forget about wearing the coil, all that kind of stuff, because, you know, it's really harsh on women to go through everything for as long as they go through. And the bitches be crazy, you know?
Mikey's also a journalist, so a first-hand vasectomy experience was bound to be a good story. But like all good stories, it had a twist.
I used so many puns, you know, arrive early, feeling cocky, just pun after pun after pun. But also, it just really took people into the room of what the experience was like. And I had this guy who, while he was doing it, saying to me, Michael, you're experiencing nothing. This is not pain. Like, quite sadistically, like, it was awful. And he had no compassion at all. So I told a lot of people, and then I got home and drank a lot of scotch. Yeah.
Mikey puts his bad experience down to operator error.
I'm a pretty optimistic, happy person, but that's really sort of took the wind out of my sails. And that's why I definitely suggest men, make sure you're going to go to somebody who's been recommended.
The experience has left no scars, but his story has helped plenty of guys sort the fact from the fiction.
I still get people, my friends, who say, I read your vasectomy story the other day, and it's good to be able to write, you know, something that's that honest, that elicits that kind of reaction.
Now it's just about convincing all the other guys that getting the snip is not the end of their virility.
A lot of my friends who are younger and have not had children, they think it's particularly hilarious. They refer to you being neutered, you know, that you're no longer a man, that you're, you know, that you talk with a funny voice, or you squeak when you walk.
Well, a lot of men are very afraid of letting a stranger go down, you know, and check out their junk, let alone, you know, to kind of take a knife to it.
The stigma is all about the fear, I think. There's 2 sides, the fear, the physical fear, and the fear that your mate's going to give you a hard time. And my surgeon said there's a lot of guys come in, and even as they're lying on the table, they're getting text messages from their mates in the building site going, they're going to cut your balls off.
Thankfully, or consequentially, a few mates have got on board and got it done, which is cool. And they haven't gone to the guy I went to. I do hear very good things about Dr. Snip. You know, he does a fantastic job, and you get a Dr. Snip stubby holder. True story.